Okay, so apologies for the lack of content on the channel over the last week. There's This video is going to go some way to explaining why. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I've decided to do this video. One, to discuss the lack of content, and that's obviously on me. And the other is some news headlines and stuff on social media regarding ADHD. Now, I have ADHD, but I've chosen to go down the unmedicated path. I may change my mind on that. But there's a thing called ADHD burnout, or just general burnout, where you're just feeling really low and lethargic and you just got no motivation. And there's things happening away from the channel which have contributed to me wanting to take a little step back for a week and just clear my head. So I do apologise for the lack of content, and there's been a few big news stories in sport over the last week that we'll discuss in live stream. It's just easier. Bit less stressful that way, and we'll do that later on today after this video is posted. We'll do probably this evening, 6 or 7 o'clock my time. Most likely I'll do a live stream, and we can have a bit more of a relaxed conversation. So yes, I am someone who lives with ADHD. Now, the other main reason I've decided to do this video is there's been a lot of discussion in the mainstream media and on social media about medication shortage here in the UK. Now, I don't know if that's a much wider regional in Europe or global shortage, but there is a shortage of ADHD medications here in the UK. Now, the most popular or most common one is Ritalin. That's the one we really hear about a lot, especially with kids and adolescents, is Ritalin. Now, there are a lot of others. I'm learning more and more about ADHD as a neurological condition. Neurological condition is the official terminology. I don't like that. Just ADHD is enough for me. And just that, and how these medications balance out dopamine levels, so keep you nice and level. So there is that massive concern, and I know a lot of people who watch this video, and a lot of my subscribers and viewers know someone with ADHD or have it themselves. I want to say this: if you are starting to run low on your medication, consult your GP and your local pharmacist ASAP. And yeah, doing things that we need to do sometimes can be difficult, but this is very, very important because your body has now got used to that dopamine supplement, that chemical that boosts or lowers your dopamine levels to keep you level, depending on what kind of ADHD diagnosis you have and other related issues. It is vitally important that you do consult your GP and or your pharmacist as soon as possible. If you are concerned that you're running low on medication and you have concerns about potentially getting your next prescription, do it. Because the risks of going, if you've been medicated for a while and going and running out of medication, is that you start self-medicating, and that's a massive minefield. And as this is a public service announcement video, please do not go down the route of dabbling with illegal narcotics or alcohol, because that can have tragic consequences. And as someone who's discussed mental health and addiction and my own personal struggles with that, please do not do that. So this is more of a PSA, make sure everyone stays safe. But living with ADHD, which is something I've done, unmedicated and undiagnosed for a lot of the time, it's I wouldn't say it's fun, but it's a roller coaster. There are some good days and there's some bad days. So the reason why there's been a lack of content is I've gone through a bit of a bad patch at the moment away from the channel. Hopefully things will resolve themselves soon with changes away from the channel, but that's more of a work-related issue with my normal job. But it does have an impact on this. Now, living with it and also being a YouTuber is kind of interesting. Now, you'll notice obviously the disorganised chaos behind me. That's a snapshot of my apartment. The whole thing is it's a bomb site, really. It does look like a tornado or hurricane or World War III, and a German Panzer division from World War II has come through here. But I assure you, I know where within all this chaos, I know where everything is. Everyone else doesn't. So when I have like a guest round, or when I was with my ex-partner, she would tidy up while I was at work. I would come home and I couldn't find my deodorant or my notepad because it had moved. Even though it was very visible where she'd put it, wasn't where I left it. Yes, that's the downside, is in your disorganised, organised chaos where things are, others don't. And when you put something in a place that's different, you then have that panic going, I can't find my keys. because you put them maybe 4 inches, 5 inches, a metre, a foot away from where you normally would put them in your disorganised, organised chaos. So that's one thing. So sometimes getting into a routine of organising stuff a bit better can help. You'll also notice with a lot of my videos, I have the notebook with me. This is more of a heart-to-heart kind of conversation, so I don't need the notebook, but it helps me massively. And you'll notice from the early videos where I'm trying to do it note-free and like that, it's all over the place. My live streams are hilarious because I go off on tangents, and they're kind of a lot of fun because I'm more relaxed, and some of my rants are quite funny as well. But regular videos, I normally have the notebook. Back in the day, I had the whiteboard out. Now I use the whiteboard just for note keeping, for non-YouTube tasks like paying bills and holiday forms and lottery tickets and reminders for certain important appointments. And writing, certain things down when I'm trying to do calculations, because maths is not a strong point. So sometimes when I've got to do a bit of tax calculation, if I've got an issue with my tax or shopping bill, calculation, the whiteboard gets used like an actual whiteboard in school would. So yeah, so I have that as a back in the day, and that was more for my benefit rather than the viewers of me referring to the whiteboard or referring to the notebook. It's for me, not for you guys. Another thing, being a perfectionist. You'll notice I'll do this all in one take. I don't stop and start the video again and edit. I do it all in one take. One continuous take. So that means lots of outtakes, lots of cock-ups. Some of my outtakes are hilarious, especially when I've really ballsed up. I do it proper. Some of my outtakes where I go wrong, I start swearing at myself, have a massive Tourette's-style blow-up. I have viewers who have Tourette's as well, and that is, again, a condition you have a lot of sympathy, but also people with Tourette's, you guys have a great sense of humour, and secondly, it's all, again, to do with how the brain is wired up and your synapses and chemicals in the brain. All these ADHD, Tourette's, they're all very similar conditions in how your brain's wired differently to a normal brain. Let that sink in. I hate that term, but that's how sometimes it's a bit easier to talk to non-ADHD peeps. And I get asked, do you want to swap brains with me? No. Wouldn't know what to do with myself. I got so used to how I am with ADHD, would not want to know what to do with myself with a normal dopamine brain. That's going to be disaster. Absolute disaster. You will find I inject humour into situations. That's to combat nervousness and anxiety and general woe. It's an ADHD trait, it's having a sense of humour. It's a defence mechanism, really. Because there is that lack of confidence and anxiety and unsureness. Yeah, that's the thing. What else? There's quite a few things with ADHD, like focus. Focus is a big one, and staying on track, which is again why I have the notebook for me match reviews and when I do my other sports content, when I'm looking at, let's say, a moment in sport, like a historical event or a history of a football club, or any sports team really, or an athlete profile. Without that notebook and me, taking down important key bullet points, we don't have a channel. Honestly, it would be an absolute shambles. Sometimes I'll have my phone out with the news article that's relaying the information of, let's say, someone's been sacked or hired or transferred or traded, or there's been a club bought. Then yeah, you want to just have the breaking news and go, right, this is what's going on, this is how I see it, whatever. But to have that tool to hand, really handy. I hate writing, but without my notebook, I would be all over the place. Now, I've got one of those multicolour click pens with like 4 colours on it. Without that, I'll be more lost than just doing it in generic black or blue ink. So that's actually really handy having that, and it's fun. But yeah, so that's that side of things. Now, obviously, the medication shortage is causing a lot of concern. So I want to end on a more general note. Please do not self-medicate. Please do not. If someone who you know may also have been on ADHD medication, come off their old medication, gone to do not use someone else's medication. Do not self-medicate with alcohol or illicit drugs, because there can be terrible consequences of that, sad consequences of that. please consult with your doctor and pharmacist about a best course of action if you are concerned or if you have run out. Because there are, if you may be on one type of medication, they can put you on a secondary one. Because when you got your body used to that medication, to change medication suddenly or run out can have really bad consequences. Um, as I say, make sure your family and friends are aware. Um, you need their support as well. If you are struggling, you can get someone to go down on your behalf because it is a registered disability, to make sure you do get medications and appointments done just to help you out. And that's a thing. If you are struggling, look, I've been struggling as well, just on the mental aspect of the anxiety and depression aspect. You have my sympathy because I've been there as well. But I thought I would, yeah, do this video just to raise awareness that, hey, we are normal human beings. We just have a dopamine imbalance. Is the basic way of looking at it. But hey, we're human beings. But I also wish to apologise. I shouldn't, but it does sometimes impact the channel, which I enjoy making the content for you guys. I really do. It gives me a lot of pleasure and joy entertaining you guys. Now, I will do a live stream later. But I'm a little bit, mentally foggy and a bit tired at the moment. Really got a lot on my mind, but the channel, as I say, it has been my therapy. It's been, a great outlet for me for my nervous energy. It gives me that positive dopamine hit. It gives me positive vibes. But yeah, hopefully we get monetized soon as well. I will do a live stream later, and then we can just discuss all the sports stories and topics that I haven't covered over the last week because there's a lot to talk about. And you know, um, we can get back doing sports content. But I thought I would just, raise the ADHD awareness a little bit. I am aware there's a fair few people, both here in the UK and overseas, struggling at the moment with the medication shortage and generally just struggling. You aren't alone. Um, you're not abnormal. You just need a little bit of help with your dopamine levels, and that's the basic crux of it. But there can be some wide-reaching implications and consequences if you don't take your medications, or you don't go to your therapy, or your coping mechanisms that are healthy coping mechanisms are starting to not work very well. But there are forums on Facebook which are great. There's some great groups. There's some great support groups, and also your friends and family. Yeah, it can be difficult at times, but be as open and honest, and try and look after each other. Thank you very much for watching. I know I've rambled a little bit, and I may have gone off, all over the place a little bit, and that's again ADHD brain going. But from me to you guys, thank you very much for watching. If you are someone who lives with ADHD or knows someone who does, please place something in the comment section below on your experiences and how things are going for you right now. And I hope you're all well. And we will have a live stream for you later on this evening, and we'll just get back to discussing sport and just general chit chat, because that's kind of fun. I love my live streams; they're hilarious. They really are a good laugh, and it's a great way of interacting with you guys and building the community that we have. But thank you very much from me, the Sports Boffin. I will have some more content for you very, very soon, and look after each other, guys. But bye for now.